One of the greatest pestilences in human history is the Black Death, which peaked between 1348 and 1350. This bubonic plague is known as one of the most devastating plague pandemics in history. The infection is known to have been carried by oriental rat fleas living on black rats that traveled on merchant ships throughout the Mediterranean and Europe. These black rats, most likely the beasts of the earth mentioned in the prophecy of the fourth seal, carried the fleas that acted as the medium for spreading the infection caused by Yersinia pestis bacteria. This strain of bacteria originated from China and spread throughout Europe, causing the reduction of Europe's population by approximately 30 to 60% from 1348 to 1420. Let us briefly go over another interesting use of the word beasts in the original Greek text of Revelation 6 verse 8. Usually the word beasts reminds people of large, monstrous animals. So if beasts in Revelation 6 verse 8 actually referred to such large, four-footed mammals, interpreting the Black Death, which was spread by fleas on rats, as a part of the fourth seal would be absolutely unreasonable. However, the word beast in its original text in Greek originates from the word therion. This word is actually a diminutive form of the root word ther, which means a wild animal. Hence, the word beast or therion in Revelation 6 verse 8 originally means a little beast, little animal. Thus, the fact that beasts can actually be referring to little beasts further enhances the proposition that the Black Death, a bubonic plague caused by infected fleas and rats, is part of the prophesied events of the fourth seal. According to the fourth seal, power was given over the fourth part of the earth. It would be more appropriate to interpret it as the power over the earth extended to the fourth part of its area, rather than to say that fourth part of the people living on the earth were killed by the bubonic plague. Therefore, just as it is important to examine how many people had died, it is just as important to review how much area of the earth was affected. History shows that the bubonic plague, the Black Death, did not occur in a small corner of some remote township but over a large area all across Europe and Asia. In this regard, whether the event of the fourth seal has affected the fourth part of Earth should be examined. The fact that many people have died must be verified also, since the scripture reveals that the writer's name is Death, and hell followed with him. The number of deaths caused by the Black Death from Europe and a part of Russia alone is sufficient to state that the fourth seal is a global event and has opened already. Therefore, further research was conducted to check if the plague has occurred in any area outside of European perimeter. The Black Death is considered one of the biggest natural disasters in human history. Wherever the plague had spread, it depopulated the regions by 25% to 50%. Studies show that there is no mistake in stating that the plague had been spread to Constantinople via the Mongol invasion, to the west in the 1340s. Scientists have recently shown that the plague-causing pathogenic strain Yersinia pestis had originated from China through DNA analysis. Studies also show that the pathogen was passed from China to Constantinople, where the Genoese traders got infected, through whom the plague spread to Europe and northern Africa. In other words, the Black Death not only caused many deaths in Europe but also in Asia and northern Africa. The Black Death also devastated the Middle East, reaching Antioch in 1348 and 1349, Mecca and Mosul in 1349, and Yemen in 1351. The successive pandemics caused massive depopulation. In China, some two-thirds of the population died in 8 geographically separate incidents from 1353 to 1354, after 90% of the people in Hubei had died in the initial outbreak. In Europe, some 70% of the people had died from the Black Plague by 1400. In Damascus, some 25 to 40% of the people died, with 1,000 dying horribly each day at the peak of the outbreak. The Black Death was many things, but it was not unique to Europe, and did not start there, it came from China. The Black Death peaked in China from 1353 to 1354, which is later than the Black Death's peak in Europe between 1348 and 1350. Likewise, it seems the Black Death peaked in the Middle East a bit later than Europe as well. In some, as shown in the map, refer to Figure 2.1, the Black Death caused fatality throughout Asia including the Middle East, Europe, and Northern Africa. The broad coverage befits the fourth seal's prophetic description on the fourth part of planet Earth. But at this point, it is necessary to verify whether the plague had spread in India. With regard to this, let us review what Sussman published in the Bulletin of the History of Medicine, but a close examination of the sources on the Delhi Sultanate provides no evidence of any serious epidemic in 14th century India. It is certain that there is no historic record evidencing the plague during this period in India. Naturally, India needs to be excluded from the total area affected. In sum, subtracting the land area of India and Russia from the total area of Asia plus Europe would yield the approximate calculation of the affected area by the plague. Therefore, the total area that had fallen under the bubonic plague comes out to be 34 million square kilometers. Also, while the Earth's total land area is 148 million square kilometers, the uninhabitable Antarctica region amounts to 14 million square kilometers. Therefore, subtracting the uninhabitable Antarctic region from the Earth's total land area would yield the total habitable land area to be 134 million square kilometers. Consequently, the percentage of total area affected by the Black Death comes out to be 25.5%. It clearly signifies that the fourth part of Earth was indeed affected by the Black Death. If you would like to know more details, please click on the link in the description below.